Are we really going to have to do one of these two now? There is no possible way that we're going to see eye to eye on this.
All right, let's get serious. We're going to tier list Final Fantasy games starting at the most recent releases. Do we want to include the 7 remake?
Well, Joe, I'd like to. I mean, it feels like a pretty important part of the series to me.
No way. How are we going to include if it still isn't finished yet? We don't even know how it ends. No deal. Plus, if we're going to include remakes and sequels, and this will take forever.
Nobody wants to talk about Lightning Returns. Facts. Okay, so no sequels, remakes, or spin-offs then. So we'll start with 15. What do you guys think? For me, this one is like a C, maybe. Like, it's fine. It's a game, I guess.
Fine, that's an easy A.
Are you fucking kidding me already, Barack? 15 was a disaster, and if you actually played it at release, you wouldn't be saying that shit. They had to add so much DLC to fix the story, and Jesus Christ, what story was there was. Rush to hell. That's going to be a huge F for me, Joe.
I really enjoyed it. I loved the character interactions, and I thought the boys had very realistic chemistry with each other.
To be fair, you do have to watch an anime miniseries to even see how the party members met. It is pretty good, though.
Don't forget the movie, too. I've got an idea. How about you put the story inside the damn game?
We don't have a lot of time here, so I guess I'm putting it at a B, and we'll go to the next game.
That's way too high. The gameplay is so dull, all you have to do is hold X.
Always the troll, Donald. You can tell they put a lot of love into this world.
Final Fantasy XIV, FF14. I didn't play it, so I guess I'll leave this one. Up to you two.
Well, now I'm not a huge fan of the direction that modern Final Fantasy has gone. And I am also not into MMOs either, but a lot of people told me to check this one out. They all tell me it's the best. And they all say you got to experience it to be a true Final Fantasy fan. So I did play it, and I beat A Realm Reborn, and I liked it a lot. I'd give it a high B.
Well, Donald, if you actually kept playing the game, you'd see that the story only gets better from there. Honestly, it's some of the best Final Fantasy content that's ever been made. And you both know it's true because Square Enix put Yoshi P in charge of FF16 after this game's success. He's a genius, and this game is goddamn masterpiece.
Okay, fine. You can give an A then. Maybe I'd actually keep playing it if the game didn't require you to go through a shit ton of boring-ass side quests before you can continue the story. Also, you can't forget that they released this game in absolute ASS state as well. They even had to shut the whole thing down and start over. Can't be an S.
Well, MMOs are expecting to grow and change over time, but yeah, 14 had a rough start, but it's a different game now. I won't accept lower than a tier.
I'll put it at an A tier then. So, moving on to 13. What do you guys think?
F. Big fat F.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Do you even like Final Fantasy?
Yeah, what the heck, man? You're such a damn hater, man. Get out of here with that.
I'm serious, guys. FF13 is straight doo-doo dumpster diarrhea, trash gameplay, trash characters, trash story.
How are you going to call Lightning a trash character?
Trash.
She's iconic, Donald, and unlike you, she still has a lot of fans.
Oh, that's rich coming from you. You know, Barack, if that is your real name. And I still haven't seen that birth certificate, by the way. Unlike you, I like video games for more than pretty waifus and shiny graphics.
I think I'm going to have to chime in here. There are a lot of things FF13 did do right, but I have some issues as well. It's fun to play, but I'm not a big fan of the linear level design.
Seriously, Joe? Every Final Fantasy game is linear, and you know it.
No, not like this, though. It's a fucking whole-way simulator.
Well, what about 10? 10 has very linear design, and I thought you guys loved that one.
We're not talking about 10. We're talking about 13. And why? It sucks. FF.
Fine, then. I'm coming in with an S tier, bitch.
You're an asshole.
It hurts me to do this because I do like the game, but I guess C it is.
Damn, Joe, I'm going to have to see these nuts on your face.
Should be lower.
I should be lowering these nuts on your face?
Grow up, Barack. You're a grown man saying that.
Yes.
All right. I hope you guys like that.
Yeah, that was pretty good, right?
That was a little taste of not what we're going to do, like, at all.
No, because Peter has no opinions on Final Fantasy.
I really don't.
Except the ones that, like, piss me off.
Except for the ones that I played.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about on your channel, didn't we talk about 7 Remake?
Yeah, and how, like
you did not
the story
like
was
it.
shit. Yeah.
So
it's almost like if you stretch out a 4-hour segment of a 30+ hour game into a 30+ hour game is almost like there's like never mind. Let's not get into
Yeah,
that.
quit your bitching, dude, you little baby. Game's good.
And, let's just change everything. Let's make it an official sequel.
You're a
Fuck
hater.
you.
You're a
I
hater.
am a hater. Fuck Rebirth. Or well, the new one's called Rebirth, remake.
Watch you actually like Rebirth.
I will eat my fucking words if they manage to make a better story than the original Final Fantasy VII. I will eat my fucking words. If Tifa dies, though, I'm gonna riot. Don't
It looks
big
like it,
titty lady.
dude. You say that, but it 100% looks like they're gonna do that.
Nah.
Spoilers for the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer, in case you guys give a shit.
I don't think anyone does.
I think a lot of people do. Like at my job, I tried explaining it to some people,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Whoa, careful!" I was like, "Okay." And then like I told them like they were like, "Should I watch the trailer?" And I said, "Yeah, you should watch it. Just know there's a part in it that'll make you, if you play the original, it'll make you say, 'What the fuck?'" And it was that part that we were talking about right now.
Yes, sir.
Hello, dinner, mom. It's okay.
No, all good.
You guys want dinner, you can call it in. Or Joseph. I'll do later, sorry.
Cool.
No, it's
all
okay.
good.
You just ruined everything.
No,
Our fans are telling us we suck. And
Stop.
we
You're
go
fine.
jump off a bridge.
You're fine.
No, we're not. We're not fine. It's all ruined.
We are. It's fine.
The stream's over. We have to end it.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
goodbye.
for watching. So, JJ,
Yeah.
what are we talking about today?
So before we get into the Final Fantasies, like I said,
Yeah, you had a lisp in there, dude.
We wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening in the movies, baby. The movies. What's happening in the movies?
Guys, guess what this stream is called? It's called Garbage Take, and we're gonna have garbage takes on everything. So, here's our garbage take on garbage movies. They're all bad. Every movie's bad. Care to elaborate, JJ?
No. So basically, what's happening, or what I guess Peter is trying to refer to in his own special way.
You call me special needs?
Very. No offense, but yes.
Wow.
No, I'm
canceled.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah, sorry. Just had to be done, my boy. No, but basically, so the new Indiana Jones movie, Dial of Destiny, I think it's called. Indiana Jones 5 is doing really bad at the box office. It has to break like about, I think, 400 million in the box office, and it's only making 80. And this was during a long weekend, like a 4th of July weekend. So it should have been stacking up cash, and it just isn't making its money back. And a lot of movies aren't making their money back, such as Elemental's opening box office weekend was only 11 million. The new DreamWorks movie, My Life as a Teenage Kraken, or whatever the fuck it's called, made 5 million, which is really bad for that, especially towards animation. It's one of the DreamWorks' like lowest earners.
Yeah.
There was another one in there. The Flash is an obvious one. Like, it lost Warner Brothers like $200 million because that was production costs, the initial $200 million. But I think they put in an extra because obviously when they do their production budgets, they don't take into account marketing, because marketing is probably the most expensive thing. And the Flash just made its production costs budget. Like, they just met it.
Like, here, I'm pulling up right now what some critics are saying, and also to refute you on the Elementals thing.
Oh, is it making a comeback?
No, I want to talk about the marketing here.
Oh.
It's so funny. Let me see if I can.
Oh, is this a funny meme? You think movies are a joke?
I want to see if I can find it. Let me see here. I muted.
Yeah, let's watch this 1.5 hour bit. What the?
Holy shit! It's an hour and a half.
This?
Oh my god. Let me see if I can find it. It's like so funny.
Our journalists.
Yeah, dude, it's great.
Moist critical.
Okay,
Oh yeah, that shit. That stupid shit. The marketing is so bad. I've seen that video on my Twitter so much, but now that no one's talking about it, I can't. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, guys, you guys are gonna laugh so hard. You guys don't get it right now,
Yeah.
but trust me, you're gonna get it. Like you're gonna get it.
Trust.
Like trust and believe. You're gonna get it. All right, here we go. Here we go.
The video. Dumb fuck.
Dude, guys, you just can't.
Save it for the wedding. Hey! Yo! Don't let my dad catch you again.
Come on, you don't like my landscaping? Anyway, June Bloom is coming, and you just got to be my date.
This is just so good.
Yeah.
This is
Because
this
clearly
is
Disney was like, okay, you're gonna see a free screen of Elementals. All the families are, yay! What we want you to do is once this character, they show up a little picture, this character shows up, we want you to scream really loud and be like, yay! Because we want this character to go viral. Look at how cute he is. Don't you want him to go viral? All right, thanks. Meanwhile, in the back, they're like, Jesus Christ, if this doesn't fucking work, we're so fucked. We're so fucked.
Yeah, and let me tell you,
Because like
Let me tell you,
my
Chad.
girlfriend really wants to see this movie,
Let me tell you,
but
Chad,
like it's failing, and it's gonna be on.
It
Really?
worked.
Ah,
No.
damn it! Oh,
Dude, no, it didn't.
Oh.
I want you to understand how much. This is how much it made opening weekend.
okay.
It made. Let me zoom in on that bad boy.
Do
It
that.
made 30 million opening weekend
Mhm.
in 4,000 theaters. I want you to take a guess.
How much the budget
about-
is?
Let me see if I can. The budget, it looks like, was $1 million.
Wait, how much was it?
Right? Am I understanding that right?
Wait, to date? No, I think that's.
Oh, this is how much it's made. It's made
Yeah.
not almost $100 million.
Uh huh.
I want you to understand that this movie,
Mhm.
for a fact, I think was $200 million.
Yeah. And it's. I think it's the second lowest Pixar movie. Like for box office return. Yeah, 200 million. Yeah.
Yeah,
So fucking
200 million.
yikes.
So
They lost
$200 million.
$100 million.
$95 million.
They're gonna put that shit on streaming.
This is
Come
not including
promotions.
the marketing budget as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile,
Let's
Across the
see.
Spider-Verse making 600 million. Thank God, people know quality.
So a lot of people on YouTube and just the internet in general have been asking, why are all these movies that have these big budgets making like half of their money back?
Mhm.
Like, let's look at Indiana Jones just came out this weekend.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Ba-da-ba. Oh shit! I can't. Fuck.
Five
Oh, shit.
budget.
John Williams, no, stop. John Williams, don't sue us.
This movie was 30 million,
Yeah.
or 300 million. Jesus Christ!
And that's production costs.
And how much was
I think the last time I
we don't
checked,
know
it was
yet.
like
We don't know yet,
90.
do we? We don't know
Well,
yet, right?
Well, that's franchise. That's not.
Just looking to find it.
Oh, okay.
It made 60 million.
That's not
60 million on its
close
opening
at all.
weekend.
83 all in
It's
all.
almost there. It's doing better than the other two. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's doing a little better than the other two.
The only way this could be saved is if it pulls like an Avatar 2 type thing, where like the opening weekend to Avatar 2 was like
But just
okay,
look at
but
that.
like
Look at that.
word of
healthy-
mouth,
look at
really.
that healthy drop.
Yeah.
Just
I want to see it. I just don't want to see it right now.
so a lot of people are saying that these movies
But we mean
are
a lot of
going-
people. We mean the internet.
the internet, that gives a shit.
Yeah.
The
Barbie movie's gonna make $1 bajillion fucking dollars.
like people believe internet people,
Mhm.
not real people, because
Yeah.
internet people,
People who are
stupid.
chronically online.
Yeah, people who are chronically ill believe that movies like Oppenheimer, which has $100 million budget. That's actually insane.
That's not that bad for.
That's bullshit. There's no way both of these movies are $100 million.
That's a clear lie.
There's no way it's $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, you see those sets?
Dollar thriller. That's crazy. These movies cost that much.
Yeah. And that's not even like that's like an average Hollywood film. Like, it's shocking they gave a non-franchise film that much money, but because Christopher Nolan is
Christopher Greta Gerwig, like these two are probably the most popular directors of our time.
Yeah, but my dad doesn't know.
He
knows Christopher Nolan movies. He's like, oh yeah, let's see the Dunkirk.
And then there's the Mission Impossible movies, which everybody is going to probably go see.
Yeah,
those movies do really
well.
All
Tom Cruise.
People are going to go see the Meg. So here's the problem. We say that we hate like mega blockbuster, like these super high budget, these roller coaster movies. Yet it is very clear the roller coaster movies right now are doing a 50-50. Majority of them are failing.
Yeah.
Flash. We just brought him up. Flash. Indiana Jones.
A Pixar movie.
A Pixar movie.
Yeah.
These are flopping.
The guys who made the Toy Story.
But then you have literal capitalism. This is capitalism.
Yeah.
And as much as we don't want to admit it,
it's going to make more money than
as we don't want to admit it, Spider-Man is also capitalism. Even if the artists that are involved truly give a shit about the franchise, Spider-Man is just catering towards the money.
Every Hollywood movie is capitalism.
Yeah, but like, I watched a video where Edward Norton said, for every movie he's done with Wes Anderson,
it's only like $4,000.
He's only made $4,000.
He got paid $8 million for that Hulk movie that he didn't want to be part of. He was like, "What the fuck is it?"
I mean, it's $8 million, so he fucking was in it. But he would rather take the $4,000 and be in a Wes Anderson movie than do another Thor movie. Or no, not another Thor movie. Hulk. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Are we good?
Just check the stream. Yeah. It looks like it might be down.
Anyways, I'm going to talk about nonsense in case you can't hear us. The Barbie franchise. One of my favorite Barbie movies of all time is Fashion Fairy Tale, obviously, because Fashion Fairy Tale broke boundaries for being a feminist manifesto. Very, very good. Then we have Barbie of Swan Lake. Absolute classic, absolute banger. Very good for the Barbie franchise, especially because it was in a slump, but now it's not, obviously, because, I mean, if you know one thing about the Barbie movies, you know that Barbie of Swan Lake is an instant classic amongst people. Are they actually hearing us or no?
Yeah. I don't know why it said that.
Damn it.
I don't know why it said that, but
now people know that I love the Barbie multiverse.
No, but like, I mean, just look at these movies here too. Like, we've got a Wonka movie coming out. We know the flop that is Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even
Fast
know.
X, that like barely made its money back. It's on demand like immediately.
I mean, it did make its money back. Box office returns is $700 million.
Yeah.
Budget is 34.
Yeah.
340. That's not like a bad return on investment. But like, you have something like this.
Yeah. Small budget.
$5 million budget. No one fucking liking it, apparently. Everyone thinks it's dog
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Everyone thinks it's fucking garbage. JJ doesn't understand film.
I think the people who went to go see
and the budget's actually not that. The box office isn't that good either.
Well, that's what I want to get to the main point to. Look up how much the first Dune's budget was.
Dune Part 1 budget.
A lot lower than 300 million. happening? Okay. You want me to pull it up? I don't care what they say. Oh wait, it's right there.
Yes, the quality back is good.
Looks good on my end. Oh wait. Oh shit. It's like paused. Oh. It's going in and out. Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too. I mean, I don't want to end the stream and then turn it back on.
Yeah.
Because that'll create 2 streams.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't saying anything. There's nothing on. It says the stream should be fine. It might be an issue with YouTube.
Maybe. We choose the one fucking time. Not receiving enough. Wait, what's it say? Video to maintain this speed. That's what I want to get to the main point too. Look up how much the first Dune's budget was.
Alright, it says stream's healthy. I hope it's steady.
No, now it's steady. Huh.
I mean, we're there. You know what? It's fine. Most of our viewership comes from
Later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just keep going. Sorry for that if you were
Yeah.
watching us look like a bunch of doofuses. We're just getting a thing that says our stream looks bad. If you're watching this after the fact, we do actually pay attention if our stream isn't like doing well.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, so like these movies just aren't doing the best.
They're not doing the best. But the point I wanted to make with the Dune comparison is like, I feel like 100 million is like a good budget for a movie. You know what I mean? Like with the 300 million stuff, like I think, and I know we shit on Marvel cast, but I mean, the problem with Marvel's president is like, oh, we're gonna get this money back no matter what, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So they're putting as much money, and like movie studios are getting cocky where they're like, yeah, it's gonna make its money back. It's definitely gonna make its money back. If you go lower, then the amount you'll get back will be higher, and they just don't seem to understand. They're like, well, nostalgia, people will come and see it, and I think people are sick of that.
And I agree, and I also think that like viewers are starting to want just more, out of what they're watching and what they're taking their time for, because
we want to bring the kids to it.
That's $20. That movie is for the 4 to 5 plus family member household.
Yeah,
that are going. That's
and I think they learned
like $100.
I think they've learned is like, well, do we want to bring the kids to a movie theater? They might be loud and stuff, or do we want to just tell them, well, wait till it comes on Disney Plus and it'll come out real soon, and then they'll forget about it eventually.
That's what I'm saying.
And then it'll show up on Disney Plus.
So my question is, do you think streaming services are killing?
Yes, 10,000%. You know what the highest grossing film studio is right now? Sony.
Because of Spider-Man.
Well, not.
Oh, because they don't have a streaming service.
They don't have a streaming service.
Well, yeah,
so Disney has to go over and be like, can we have a Spider-Man movie? And they're like, you get one Spider-Man movie.
Because they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
They're getting money for it. So, like, of course, why would they make their own streaming service? Because they got rid of Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, they bought Crunchyroll and they realized Crunchyroll is a lot of money to take care of. And they sold it.
Yeah.
They got rid of it and said, you guys can have it. we're losing money off of something that doesn't give us value. And the reality is, streaming services don't give the production companies and the studios and the executive companies money, but they give us as viewers better opportunities to watch movies. Because I know that you hate when I say this, but unfortunately now a majority of people are watching their movies at home.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's way cheaper to spend $7 on Disney Plus than to spend $50 to $60 to go see it once in theaters. Like when Encanto came out, me and my girlfriend watched it like 7 times that weekend. Like it came out for the first time because she loved it. And it only makes sense that we did that because it was online day one. Yeah. So these movies are failing in that aspect. But at the same time, good movies are making their money.
Yeah, Spider-Verse, word of mouth. Everyone's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And 600 million. I think it had, look it up. I think it had like about like 100 million budget.
Yeah, I said it was like I think it said $100 million.
Yeah.
Like
600 million. It made 6 times what it's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very clear that these movies need to do better, and also because people are willing to go see the movies. People are willing to go see it.
So I think the lesson here: 1, don't bake on nostalgia. My dad, he likes Indiana Jones. He's not gonna go want to see it in theaters. He doesn't give a fuck.
Like he's not that into it.
He's not that into it. Well, he was into it when I was younger. He loved showing me those movies. Now he's like, I don't want to fucking go see the new Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford's an old fuck. So you can't just bank on nostalgia anymore. People are going to sniff through that out.
Harrison Ford will never allow another person to play Indiana Jones.
It's true.
Like he's literally
Chris Pratt. More like Chris fucking Dum.
Dude. God.
That was pretty good. Yeah. Thank you. Number 1, don't bank on nostalgia. Number 2, stop thinking your movie's going to make its money back if you put 200 million or 300 million. Dune has less of a budget than The Flash. And it looks phenomenal compared to The Flash. It looks
more
fucking incredible.
There's more passion in this.
And time. Don't forget time as well.
Well,
to the production.
To give fairness to The Flash, it was
in production hell forever.
10 years.
Yeah.
So you can't bank on that.
And you had a psychopathic
it's truly
murderer. No, not murderer.
It's truly the passion. We don't know that. It's truly the passion behind the people making the product. Like it's the same thing with video games. Like Redfall was also in production hell. Fallout 76 was Destiny was in production hell.
Yeah.
Like the game was revealed and it took them like 5-6 years to actually make it. Cyberpunk was revealed in 2016, didn't come out until 2020.
Yeah. Oh, the new Elder Scrolls isn't coming out for another 5 years.
Yeah, that's stupid. I reported that in our gaming video, and they revealed it in 2018.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
And then, I think the new Wonder Woman game came out with a little teaser trailer or whatever. And it's like in the next 5 or so years. Well, the Suicide Squad movie was supposed to, or game was supposed to come out, but then everyone kept bitching and complaining, and they're like, we're going to rework this.
Well, yeah, because they try to make it look like the Avengers, Destiny. It's like, get the fuck, no one wants to play that. Like, isn't that
Kevin
sad?
Conroy's
isn't that sad? Kevin Conroy's last appearance in anything?
And he's going to be an evil Batman that wants to kill and murder. You know, just like the Kevin Conroy that
just
we
like
know.
What Kevin Conroy would love for the character.
What a legacy to go out on.
So there needs to be more passion in the industry.
There needs to be more passion.
And unfortunately, that won't happen because money. Like, that's all it is.
They just need to set lower budgets. That's all you need to do.
No, they need to set lower budgets because big budget movies used to work. It's just nowadays they don't work because they're just churning it out. Like a really good what the fuck is this? Why am I watching a Philip DeFranco show? Did you do that?
No, what the fuck? Why the fuck would I do that?
I don't know, because I just...
What the fuck would I do that?
I don't know.
Why would I fucking...
Like, as much as no one likes his critique, on Marvel movies, or at least like a majority of the internet didn't at the time. Martin Scorsese's right.
Oh,
these movies,
my boy Martin always.
These movies are roller coaster rides, and I had my fun, but I got off the ride.
Yeah,
and watching the ride,
aka Star Wars, off that fucking ride. I'm never going back to that carnival again.
Like, the rides are done.
Yeah,
and the studio executives are slow. Hopefully, after this summer, blockbuster season, they realize that it's over.
Yeah,
that they can't just churn out garbage. Like, Elementals could have done well, like it could have, but the marketing was so poor.
Yeah,
it was a poorly executed concept. Like, it doesn't look interesting. I saw that trailer so many times when I went to the movies before the summer,
same.
and I was like, this movie looks like ass.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to watch this?
Yeah, my girlfriend said, let's go see. I'm like, definitely, sure. Forget about that shit.
Yeah, like, for real. Like, it's just not
Well, Disney has a problem with banking on the name. Oh, it's a Marvel movie. People will go see it. Oh, it's a Disney movie. People will go see it. You can't do that anymore. Like, they're coming out with this new movie. I forget. I think it's called Wish Upon. I Wish Upon. It's like about the...
Yes. Yeah. I know exactly.
And it looks like garbage. And people are like, how come you're not adapting the same styles as like Spider-Verse and stuff? It's like, well, that's a little complex. And it's like, well, that's what people like. And you could tell it's kind of like doing like a bootleg version of that. Like a not so good version of that.
Isn't it supposed to be a
Wish Upon? That's a horrible horror movie.
Isn't it like
maybe
a
it's
play?
Just called Wish? I don't know.
Isn't it a play on like Disney's like When You Wish
Upon a Star? Yeah. And people are like, no one's nostalgic about that. What the fuck? You're making a movie over saying? Granted, they made a whole movie about a shitty ride called Pirates of the Caribbean, and that made them millions and millions of fucking dollars. So what the fuck do we know, really?
You know why? Because there was
marketing
and marketing in that movie.
Yeah.
They said, you know what?
And
guess what?
Davy Jones is still one of the best looking. Say what you will about the quality of the films. Davy Jones is still one of the best looking CGI like creatures along next to Gollum. That shit still looks good today.
Yeah. Like, and guess what? They failed when they tried to recreate that magic with what the fuck was it called? The Jungle Boat with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Emily Blunt.
Oh, Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, the Jungle...
Yeah, oh god, I saw that in theaters. Steph wanted to see it. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
They tried to do the same thing with that movie, and it failed. Why? Because they are banking on nostalgia, not on the fact that they have passion behind the project.
Exactly.
And that's the sad part. There's no passion in Hollywood. Wow, two white guys with glasses are reminding you for the billionth time that's the fact.
Listen up, Hollywood.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah, it is true.
Because if there was more passion in the industry, we would have more movies that are like Puss in Boots, that are like Spider-Verse, that are like the new Marvel, the new TMNT. Because once again, those things are banking on nostalgia too.
Yeah.
But they're putting way more effort into it.
Like, and people will see something outside of their like comfort zone. Like there's a show, I don't know if you've heard it, it's called The Bear on Hulu. Yeah. Normally it's not too artsy fartsy, it's a little artsy fartsy and stuff like that, but like people are like, fuck it, I want something to do. It's just about a restaurant. That's simple, that's fine. And it's quality filmmaking. Well, it's a TV show, but quality TV. Meanwhile, The Idol
still filmmaking.
Yeah.
Still filmmaking.
Yeah. The Idol is just like, everyone's like, what the fuck is this?
That's just straight porn.
Dude,
like,
it's so gratuitously bad.
There's nothing more to it than that. It's literally just porn.
Like, and victim blamey, and it's just The Weeknd said he was gonna end his music career to pursue it. And it's like, maybe no, because he's like, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of when
your pussy's so tight, girl.
Yeah. You know what he reminds me of?
Was nasty.
You know when you have to make a student film or something, right?
That's what it feels like.
You invite one of your friends who like doesn't act at all, but he's like trying to act, but clearly he has no acting abilities whatsoever. But he's really trying. That's what The Weeknd feels like. He's like, oh, you want me to be aggressive? How about I yell a whole bunch?
How about I finger the girl while she's singing?
Or how about I beat you over the head with a hairbrush? It's fucking...
Dude, quality filmmaking right there. So yeah, that's our half an hour rant.
People like The Weeknd. They'll come see it.
So that's our half an hour rant on the movie industry. I'm probably not going to go see a movie in theaters for a while. I probably won't even go see Oppenheimer because I'll be in Spain.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing Oppenheimer and Barbie. I think I want to do like a double feature, low key.
A double feature?
Barbie first, go out for lunch, then Oppenheimer.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fun idea.
No, wait. No. Oppenheimer first. 3 hours, long, depressing, lunch. Then, at the end of the day, you get a little sunshine. Barbie. If you start out positive and go to the negative, you're going to feel like shit. Do negative first, then go positive.
I see what you're saying.
That's my strategy.
Speaking of negative.
Shut the fuck up. You're fucking...
No, because the game is darker.
Oh, I thought you meant like negative and like...
Also because it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks so much ass.
It was ass cheek.
That we even have to like put in our birth update.
Yeah, because we need to...
1923, fuck yeah, dude. Whoa!
That's so stupid.
Just put it on YouTube.
It's so dumb. I wanted to watch it on here because this is like a pretty cool website.
Anyways, hi. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jack, aka Jack Hudson. Some of you might have known me as Mr. Sheep. If you don't know this about me, well, you're in for a rude awakening.
Guys, you have to leave now. He has books. He has thick books. They're thicker than him, and that's saying something.
Listen, I have a flat ass, and I'm very self-conscious about that.
Dude, let's do more squats, bro. You know how I sit? Apparently, this is how I sit. Like when I'm like trying to like sit down.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to demonstrate on stream.
Okay.
Like apparently, like I go like this. I'm squatting to sit down. How do you sit down, JJ? Let me see you sit down.
Right? This is the average day. JJ/Jack. I go like this. I see the chair. I go.
That's why. See how you sat?
No. This is how I really sat. This is unlike not being funny. This is how I naturally sit.
Yeah. See, you don't like pop your ass.
Yeah. I don't slide it up for the audience.
Like, see how I pop my ass out?
Yeah.
So okay. So JJ has been playing Final Fantasy 16. That is why you're all here, really. Like, sorry if we clickbaited
all
you.
as in one.
Sorry if we clickbaited you and made you think we were going to talk about.
I think I'm going to put in time codes.
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy 16, JJ.
Actually, let me 38. I'll just put 38 minutes on my notes.
It's 35, really.
Okay.
So JJ. Final Fantasy 16. I want to preface this.
Why don't you go? Because I'm going to be talking a lot. Why don't you go? What do you think?
I want to preface this. I know like the way the game like is played. I don't really know the story.
Yeah.
This game is not it's not a JRPG, like at all. As far as I can see,
it still is.
It is straight up like action.
It
reminds me more of Devil May Cry and Bayonetta than it does.
Hold on.
Persona and even Final Fantasy.
Before you continue, what do you think JRPG entails?
I think a JRPG is more like you're like at the very least like Final Fantasy 7, where there's like specific attacks you can do.
You talking turn-based, right?
Not like really turn-based.
Because in that line of logic, would you say that Kingdom Hearts is not a JRPG?
I wouldn't consider
it. 10,000% is, so you're wrong. But
well, actually, no. I would consider
because there's action RPGs.
You're right. I would consider
because you can select items as well.
I'm sorry, that was wrong. I would consider Kingdom Hearts a JRPG because it reminds me of because what I expected Final Fantasy 16 to play like was like Final Fantasy 7 Remake. It is not like that.
I never expected that.
I did, especially from the. I thought that with the trailers. It was one of the first things it does. Said
I will say, it is more of an action-based game. It still definitely is an RPG. You update your stats and all that fucking abilities.
Yes, I heard they're not that. I heard once again. This is coming from armchair.
Yeah, coming from having played 20 hours of the game.
I watched a lot of reviews on the game because I don't I can't afford a PlayStation.
Thief.
Also because
Thank God it's exclusive. And I don't mean to be a shithead, but like I own a PS5. We don't get a lot of just PS5s. The PS4 peasants still get some drip off of us.
No,
I'm glad there's like it's a fucking
PS4.
exclusive. Good thing you bought a PS5. I'm like, finally, finally, it was worth it.
Yeah, and it's also worth it for the developers because they only have one console to think about. Granted, I know for a fact they're already making
on a PC port.
Oh,
10,000%.
Like that PC port's coming out next year.
Yeah,
it's like there's no way around it. It's like it's impossible. It's not coming on PC.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm surprised with like the way, like especially with how insanely annoying Sony has been when it comes to Microsoft's acquisition of Activision.
Yeah,
that Sony would dare to make an exclusive game and not at least tease that it was coming out on another console.
Right.
Because the only tease we have of this game coming out on another console was its reveal 3 years ago, when it said gameplay on like
or
alpha,
not actual gameplay or
not actual
alpha,
gameplay, alpha gameplay on a PC. And I was like, when I thought, I was like, they're gonna make it for PC at the same time. I could find my $3,000 investment could have a fun game to play that isn't fucking Destiny. So,
guess what? You're fucking wrong.
Yeah, you're so fucking right.
Yeah. No, it'll 3 months. I guarantee.
Like,
3 or 4 months. You'll get it.
I also think there's a lot more to just than the turn-based thing. There's also the skill tree and the development of your character. I hear that like the swords don't really change that much of the gameplay. They don't do much.
Not necessarily. Well, I mean, it changes. Like this one hits harder than this one. Well, that's about it. But you can still upgrade armor and stuff like that. Now, the thing that I don't like about it is you don't get to change your outfits. I like changing my outfit. Granted, a lot of Final Fantasies you don't really change your outfits, but like this one had to be like, oh, you could spice it up a little bit.
It's pseudo open world. I like that it's like not the whole map.
That's something.
But it's like sections of the map.
That's something I want to talk about. But what are your I want to ask you, what are your impressions of Clive, just straight off the bat from what you've seen and stuff like that?
Dude, you know this. I thought Clive and like his younger self were two different characters.
Yeah,
the longest time. I was like, oh, they're two different characters.
Yeah.
And then you were like, no, he's just older.
Yeah.
You dumbass.
And then you were like, no.
And like we watched the trailer and I was like, oh fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
Like he literally is just like an older.
Because I'm fucking good at this shit.
I
will say, actually, go back to the very start. Right, very start. That right there. It's like, I don't think there's been another Final Fantasy that's rated M, and it is very odd.
No way.
Yeah, because 15 is T.
15 is rated T for teens? No, it's not.
I think so. Or maybe I could be wrong.
Keep talking now. I'll look.
But it is weird to have a Final Fantasy game where they say fuck a lot.
Oh my god, yeah. It is rated T.
Yeah, told you. See, why do you always fucking doubt me?
Because it's crazy. The game.
I'm a Final Fantasy boy. Yeah, that one's rated T. Oh, it's definitely T. Yeah.
Is 13 rated M?
No, it's T. At least the first one. I don't know about the shitty other ones.
No, yeah, they're all T.
Anything before that is definitely T.
Which other Final Fantasy was rated M?
I think this is it. I don't think there's a Chocobo Racing.
You're making me sneeze just saying that.
No
way.
But it's very weird to see fucking like
to see
the fuck word
in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah,
because they surprisingly say it a lot.
They do. Fuck it. It's not. You know what would have made a maybe Final Fantasy Origins. That might be the first rated M.
Oh, it is. It is. We were
because that's what you say. Like, this is fucking chaos. Some shit like that. I want to fuck chaos. I am fucking chaos.
Sleep with chaos. I'm gonna suck his dick.
And what? What was that? Nothing, dude. I'm not gay.
Chaos,
I'm gonna
dude.
fuck chaos. But yeah. So what do you think about Clive? Did you think he was just gonna be just so fucking angry?
No.
No?
No.
See, that was my impressions because I stood away from like gameplay footage and stuff, and because and even the story stuff, because like this is the first one I just kind of wanted to be like going open-minded, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, and earlier on, the first 10 hours of the game, he's not super edgy and angry, but he's like, I'm gonna kill the motherfucker who killed my brother. Oh shit. Okay. Spoilers for this whole fucking thing. At least for the halfway point, I haven't finished the whole game. So spoilers up until where am I? Up until the second Mother Crystal is destroyed. So he's like, I'm gonna kill the motherfucker who killed Joshua, aka his brother. And then he's pretty much like that throughout most of the game until he destroys the first Mother Crystal. And then he has like this internal fight with himself.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I just have to accept that I did kill my brother. But it turns out he didn't. Now, I will say this. At the beginning
He was alive?
Yeah, Joshua.
Dude, spoilers, bro.
I literally just fucking said that.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, do you not want me to
Sorry.
say spoilers?
It's spoiled.
Wait. Going forward, am I allowed to talk about the story?
Yeah,
No? Fuck you, dude. You know how I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I like to go, like, literally fresh out the gate. I know. That's why I was, like, surprised. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, shit.
Unless, like, I actually give a shit about something, I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, I do care about this game. I want to play the fuck out of this game.
Yeah,
so
it's so fun. I will say in the beginning, okay, yeah, here I was. So story points, like, once the demo, aka the prologue, because the demo that they release is basically just a prologue to the game, a 2-hour demo, which is pretty fucking awesome, actually.
Yeah, well, that's the first. That's literally the first
the first 2 hours. It's like he's like, I gotta go find my brother, and then there's this hooded figure. I'm like, yeah, I know it's Joshua. I know he's still alive. Please don't make this the whole fucking game. It's just like him being like, I killed my brother. There's no, and then at the last 40 hours, it's like, I am Joshua. Like, because it's so obvious. It's such a, especially because I'm more.
Wait. So the hooded figure that like was shown before he turns into Infreed or whatever the fuck he's called.
Yeah, it's Joshua
from a different time.
That has yet to be explained.
Okay, because yeah,
but at 10,000% is Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah. God, I hope they don't introduce time travel because they haven't alluded to it at all. It's probably some spiritual, like, oh, we're connected, so I went to the past years. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but I was like, God damn it! If Clive is just like kind of a bitter, angry asshole this whole time, or like, God damn it, if they just really play up this like, oh, who is it when it's so obviously Joshua, and within the first 10 hours out of like a 30+ hour game, they're just like, this is Joshua, by the way. Clive knows that it's Joshua. And they don't do the thing where Clive gets knocked out and then he's like, I saw Joshua. And everyone else is like, no, you didn't. You little crazy.
Joshua's dead, you dumbass.
You dumb fuck. They do none of that. They're like, yeah, no, we saw him too. And I'm like, thank fucking God, because I hate that shit. I hate it when it's so obvious one thing and they try to do like, oh, maybe it's this cat. No, I know what the fuck it is. You're going to pull the rug out underneath me. And there's none of that here. There's still mystery and surprises to come forward, but they don't do the obvious ones that like a lesser game would do, like Final Fantasy Origins, where like toward the end of the game it's like, wait a minute, why am I having dreams of masturbating in Chaos's armor?
Oh, because I'm
Chaos. Because I'm Chaos. I didn't finish that game. I got like 5 hours in. I'm like, I fucking hate
I can't believe you played.
I paid that full price because I was like, I like Final Fantasy. So stupid. I am a stupid
People
fuck.
call me dumb for buying Destiny. At least I played.
Dumb as fuck. yeah, good. That's a good point. Yeah, I just backlog my shit. And I'm like, why did I pay full price for this? So they don't do that, and that's very refreshing. But like, I was very hesitant for those first 10 hours. I'm like, come on, just fucking. And Clive gets character development. Like mid-game, he's a completely different character from who he was before. He's more understanding. He becomes a leader of a group that he initially was hesitant to join. And like, all the side missions basically in this game, there's benefits obviously to it, but it's mostly just to help out your fellow or bearers, I guess, and help them out. Bearers are the people who.
Does Clive, when he fights an icon, does he take their powers?
Yes. So far from the game, there's the wind one, and he defeats the wind one and takes their powers. He doesn't take their dominant form, aka their summon form, where they turn
takes their blessing.
Kaiju. Yeah, he takes their blessing, so he takes the wind powers or whatever. Another character dies, he takes the electricity power. So he can absorb them in like melee combat, but he can't turn into like the dominant themselves or whatever. He either has to be gifted it or take it from them by defeating them in combat, basically.
Okay.
At least that's how it's worked so far. And it's a really cool element. It's got that like I know this game sucks, but like I liked the combat of the game. The reboot of DMC, you had to switch weapons like between Angel and Demon one. That's kind of similar to this, but
it's like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, yeah, there you go. But so far, there's been no strategy to it. There's been no like, if you use this particular one,
this is better.
It'll be better. It's just like whichever one you.
I also heard that like this game doesn't have affinity.
No.
Like even in remake, like it's very clear if you use like a frost on a fire.
Yeah.
Character. It'll do
nothing
more
like
damage,
that.
or vice versa.
Which I will say, I just want to come out and say, I really like this game. I've been thinking about it and stuff. It's a fun game. However, I wish there was some of that, some of planning out and stuff, because
this
right
game
now
doesn't feel. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some remnants in there. There's a dominance, which you get to play as, which is really cool and stuff, because in all previous other games you basically just use them as summons and they're a cool cutscene, but now you get to literally play them, which is awesome. And the main baddie is Ultima, which is like the best summon in most of the Final Fantasy games. And that part is cool. There's chocobos obviously and stuff, but it's like I think I have to go. It started midway through. It starts to feel more like a Final Fantasy game. Once you get into like the base and you get in charge of like the base and stuff like that, it starts to feel like that like Final Fantasy feeling where you feel like hopeful, but there's a sense of danger and stuff like that, and more of a sense of adventure. But the early game just feels a lot like here's kind of Game of Thrones and Dark Souls thrown in together, at least aesthetic wise. And you're just like.
I was gonna say you are a big fan.
This is the Dark Souls of Final Fantasy. That is further. This is honestly, if you want to get into Final Fantasy, this is a great entry point because it is by far
so drastically different.
It is by far the easiest Final Fantasy game I've ever played, ever. It's so fucking easy, and I'm not saying that. Like the game journalist,
like it's a derogatory
where it's like he had all the accessibilities on, was just pressing square. Fuck that. If you want to actually experience a game, get rid of those rings. Don't even look at them when offered. Don't even equip them. And then the only similarity I would say the combat is a mixture of Devil May Cry, like traditional Devil May Cry, and like Kingdom Hearts. Like that's the best I could do, where you're kind of mashing one button, but you can also do combos and stuff like that, and you have like abilities that like charge up, like that ability right there. That's an ability that you can use temporarily that does a lot of damage. But I will say, even though my main complaint is it's a little too easy, and I wish there was a difficulty that you could set it to. So I'm like, this is too easy for me. I want to set it to hard mode. There's none like that. It's either story mode or battle mode. They give you that the first thing, where story mode is like, if you just want to experience the story, aka saying like, if you're bad at video games but you want to get through this real quick, and then I think it's called arcade mode or battle mode. I think it's battle mode, where it's like, if you're more familiar with action games, do this one. But there's no like advancing one. There's probably going to be in the end game like a new game plus or something like that, for when you want to revisit it quickly, but also have all your stats, but it's also harder kind of thing. but it is fun. It is fun, and I do really, really enjoy playing it. I just don't feel like okay.
I know that
when I say it's not easy, I'm talking like the ground battle stuff with like minions and stuff. The boss battles are really fun to play. They're really, really fun.
Playing this giant mecha, pretty much.
Well, I mean, there is that, but those are pretty easy. They're just kind of like, oh, let's fight till we get to the cutscene kind of thing. Like, if you lose at one of those, that's a skill issue, I guess. So far.
Like, I would agree that this seems like a much easier Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because
Square-Enix,
there's not a lot of like thinking when it comes to this game. Whereas like
in the midst of combat, no.
7 Remake, like you have to think about.
You still have turn-based elements. Yeah. Like I was bitching that, like, oh, what the fuck? Like they're getting rid of turn-based. Final Fantasy Remake has more turn-based elements than this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what? that is a really good point. You say that because I do distinctly remember you bitching and moaning that there was no turn-based.
Yeah.
Yet you are not complaining about it with this.
Listen,
game.
and
Final Fantasy VII Remake had turn-based mechanics.
Had some, very light, but
it was like a good combination of action RPG and like traditional turn-based RPG elements. Sure, this game has zero.
You haven't played.
I can see it in this, and I've seen it in a gameplay.
Yeah,
like
I will say, however, so there is a limitation in this, and that's there's not really an open world. There's like, there's like a limited open world, as in like as the story progresses, you unlock new areas. So it's not all open world at first. You can't just go fuck off and like do a bunch of side quests across the map. Like you have to teleport to each open area.
It's not Zelda.
It's not Zelda. And it's kind of hard because like that was the most recent like open world game I played. And I'm sitting there like, well, what the fuck? But like you get used to it after a while, and the areas expand after a while. They're not huge, but it's a decent amount.
In terms of that, it reminds me of like Pokemon Legends Arceus, where it's pseudo open world where there's like 5 locations and they're open world in those locations, but you have to like go through like a loading screen to get to the other location.
Yeah,
it's not like Breath of the Wild where literally just diving down to the underground, there's no loading screen, it just fucking works.
Yeah. I will say, and this is like one of the better modern Final Fantasy. It's probably the best modern Final Fantasy story.
I mean,
out of all of them,
so fun to play.
Yeah,
and as somebody who
I just want to say this because 15, you had to watch a fucking movie and an anime before you even understood the shit. You could, jump into it or whatever, but Final Fantasy 15, it's a lot of like they use a lot of like terms. You know what I mean? And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? This mechanic is genius in this fucking game. You can pause the game at any time at any cutscene. You press the I'll show it off here. The little touchpad right here. This is PS4, but the PS5 controller. You touch it there, and it's called Active Lore. You could do if you want to get into the nitty gritty of like the lore and the story and what each character is about. You click that button, and it tells you a brief description of what this nation is about, what this location is about, what this character is about at any time during the story. So you're never gonna be lost. Or if a term is said, it will also do that as well. Like it wants you to want to understand what's going on in the story, because at the beginning it's a lot at first. You have to memorize all these nations and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to, but like if you want to get invested in the plot, like I do, because I'm a fantasy fucking freak, the options there.
Like you're looking near the camera, you don't have to look back at me.
But I love looking into your eyes.
I know, but you're a streamer now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But I think that is such an awesome mechanic, and going forward, all Final Fantasy games should have this, because each Final Fantasy world is every game is completely different, unless just there's like Final Fantasy 13
it's like a literal
it's an anthology, literally. Like the whole series is an anthology.
What do you like that it's back to its like roots of medieval?
Yes, I'm done with Future Punk. I'm done with it. It's over. It's done. Kill it.
I'm gonna be honest.
Kill it with fire.
I'm gonna be honest. I agree. I think the future. I think like the pseudo modern.
They've done
like aspect
everything they can, and my biggest
so anime.
My biggest complaint about 15 is like the world just doesn't look interesting to me. You know what I mean? It's just pretty much here's modern day. And it's like, oh, okay. Where at least like with Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and stuff like that, it's like, oh, it's like futuristic kind of sort of thing. And then, you know, 13's world is visually interesting too, whereas 15 is like, here's the modern world with some dragons in it. Ooh, it's pretty cool.
No, it makes it seem really anime, which kind of gives it like a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, because it's grounded in like a more medieval tone, it can have like the fun, like dark tones that it wants to go for.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, all this stuff, all this magic bullshit works because like it's medieval
and it's mature. Okay, so this is actually a great comparison. I've kept bringing it up on screen, but Final Fantasy Origins is how you do dark and mature stories very bad. Where it's just like, I fucking hate this. Look at how fucking dark and cool I am. Meanwhile, Final Fantasy 16 is like mature storytelling done absolutely right, where there's mature happenstances and, you know, a lot of fucked up things happen, but it's not like, yeah, look how fucked up this is. It's just like, this is a story that happened. So, for example, so in the game, there's a group of people called bearers, I believe. Bearers or bearers, I think. Yeah. Bearers, where basically you're born into magic, so you become a slave to humanity because humanity's afraid that magic wielders would obviously take over, so they enslave them instead. This fantasy trope has been used quite often. It's done well here, but I always go to the fact, like, if you're just magic, why not just take over these motherfuckers? And they haven't so far explained it. Maybe it's in the lore archive, maybe I just missed it. But, like, it's just like, why not just take over these motherfuckers? But anyways, there's a side story where it's a certain kingdom that's, like, really bad with their, bearers. Like, they're, like, treat them less than dirt. They treat them like either pets or slaves, right? So there's one scene where, like, it's this rich, like, farmer dude, and he's like, my son is being attacked by a wolf. You have to kill it. So then Clive kills a wolf, and the little kid that the dude was mentioning, his son, was just like, you weren't supposed to beat him. You were supposed to die. And it's like, oh, fuck. The kid was just having his dad send bearers so he could just sick wolves on them and, like, kill them, basically, for his, like, amusement. And it's just like, whoa, that's a lot. And that's just a side mission. And it's very subtle storytelling. It's not like, yes, I love the blood and stuff. It's like the kid, the way he was grown up and thinking, is just like, aw, now my entertainment's gone, kind of thing. And they do get their comeuppance. They're like, well, we need a new wolf to train. So they bring in a wild wolf, and it doesn't show them dying, like a much lesser, right? It would be like, and then there's guts, and oh, look at how you see the wolf murder it. It's just like, it shows a shot of the house, the father going, like, what's going on? And you hear the kid like, help, help. And then just a slash, grunt, and then silence. And it's just like, whoa, fuck. I've never seen Final Fantasy tackle it that fucking hard. And there's another one in that same area where a little girl is like, have you seen my pet? It's got silver hair. And then, like, you see a dead body of a bearer. And then she's like, oh no, my pet died. And it's like, oh, what the fuck?
That's like that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like it's cool stuff like that. And, like, definitely, if you're gonna play this game, do all the side missions. You get so much perks. There's this ring where every time you do a precise encounter, precise invade is where you evade at the exact right time. It gives you a boost in, like, damage energy, and it, like, has you fly toward the enemy, and you just do so much damage. So, like, do all the side missions, and you get a chocobo. If you play the mainline game, like, and just don't do any of the side quests, you'll never get the chocobo. Get the fucking chocobo. It makes the open world map so much easier, because I will say another complaint is the base running speed is, like, so fucking slow. It's like you're judging. Like, there's no, like, sprint button or anything.
Yeah.
But then you get the chocobo and you can just, like, fly through the map. Like, oh, side quest is over there. Just, like, charge right for it. But I really do like this game. I think it's too early to rate it now, but I think that it's, like, out of all the Final Fantasy games, it's, like, it's up there. It's not low. It would be mid to high mid for me with Final Fantasy. That's not a bad thing. It's very good. It's better than 15, better than I don't know if it's better than the remake of 7. While I hate 7's story, the combat is much more engaging and much more skill based, whereas this one is like press the square button kind of thing, but not mindless like that game journalist said. But so far, really, really good. I love it. 10 out of 10.
You already hear, folks.
Well, not 10 out of 10. No.
No, he said it.
No.
He said it. It's on stream.
Now we get to the fun part, and I'm gonna make this one real quick because we're over an hour. Okay.
Here's the chunky fucking books, guys. These books are massive. I don't know what's in them, but he's got 3 of these.
These are the Ultimatum
Did you
Archives.
just buy these?
No, I've collected them for a while now.
This motherfucker. These look new.
Well, yeah, because I keep them in pristine condition because I'm not a fucking troglodyte.
God.
Look at the sides though. Look, it's got a little Moogle, it's got a chocobo, it's got a cactus guy. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
You can't even see it because it's so white. But yes, so these cover all of the Final Fantasy games, the behind the scenes, the character profiles, the artwork, everything. Literally, like, it's so interesting seeing like how they plan out everything and like the game development stuff. I haven't like read through them, but I've read certain passages for games that I really like and stuff. So I will leave these here if you want to take a look at one. You can go ahead and press your bingy. So this is 1 through 6, 7 through 9, and then 10 through 14.
Wow. Look at this guy.
And they color code it. Pretty cool.
Let's go to 14.
It's the smallest fucking section. This game came out when everyone was shitting on 14.
This book?
Yeah, so they're like, oh yeah, this is 14 by the way.
Here, I'm gonna try to show you guys some like, so they have like a character concept section.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the character concept section.
We're not paid by Square-Enix. But
yeah, we are. Square-Enix gave me money.
I'm pissed because the Amazon packaging, they got a little dent right there.
God. So like, here's some of the characters, guys.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. I mean, it's pretty cool. This is like I'll be honest.
It shows like all the enemies and stuff like that.
This section would be like a cosplayer's dream.
Yeah.
Because like it's showing you like the way they were made and like
details,
giving you a lot of good detail of it
and the artwork. They're really pristine books. These are like some of the like the Zelda ones are okay, but these are like very pristine and very good. Also, I'm saying that because I am a Final Fantasy fan. So, with that all being said, where do you start with Final Fantasy? The very, very short answer is anywhere. All the games are not connected, unless if it says like Final Fantasy X-2 or Final Fantasy 13-2, you can pretty much fucking start anywhere. From Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy fucking
honestly
16.
I would do it like this. If you really want to figure out which Final Fantasy to play, do the judge a book by its cover for this.
Yeah, if you think it looks cool,
yeah,
go for it.
Like if you think like for me, I thought Final Fantasy 15 looked cool. So it was the first Final Fantasy game I played.
Yeah.
Which
is the most divisive.
Lo and behold, it was not one of the best because it was also not finished.
The complaint for 16, like old Final Fantasy fans such as myself, at the at the beginning it was like, well, it's not turn-based, so it's not a mainline Final Fantasy or whatever. Final Fantasy with each entry has tried to do something different with either its combat or story. Final Fantasy is always evolving. There were people when Final Fantasy 7 came out being like, this is not Final Fantasy, it doesn't feel anything like Final Fantasy. And now those people look fucking stupid because when you think Final Fantasy, you think 7, even though it's a little overhyped. Very. So, all right, if you're into your traditional like NES, SNES game, you want to get into that turn-based, what I would say would either do 14 because it's simple based and it has a really good story. That's just what like Final Fantasy 4 is where the stories get really fucking good. Not to say the other 3 are bad, but Final Fantasy 1 is literally just save the day. Final Fantasy 2 is a little better, but like the combat system was weird. It's like when you lose, you gain more XP. It's like a weird fucking system. Final Fantasy 3 doesn't have the job system quite fleshed out, and the difficulty spikes are insane. 4 is great. It's great all around. You could play the DS remake versions. Those are a little harder, but still very good. Final Fantasy 5, if you're into like jobs and stuff like that, like mages and like really expanding on XP and stuff like that, and really like boosting up your guys, like you care about the job system and stuff, Final Fantasy 5 is very good for that. Final Fantasy 6 has been hailed as one of the best Final Fantasy games, and it's definitely in my top 3. And that one's the best out of like the NES, like 8 to 16-bit. I don't know what the pixel rate is. I don't remember. 32. I don't remember. But that's the best out of all those 6 of the classic Final Fantasy games. Then we get into the PlayStation era, which is my personal favorite era because it has 2 of my favorite Final Fantasies. Final Fantasy 7, which is, I hate to say it, it's overhyped, but if you want, you're like, fuck I want to see, I hate the like pixel art or whatever, and you want to do like a 3D Final Fantasy 7 is a very good place to start. Obviously graphics are a little dated, but what the fuck you want from me? And the Miria system is very good, very well implemented, and it's the most popular one. So if you want to go toward that route, fine. But if you want to be a little special snowflake and be like, well, actually, my first Final Fantasy was this, I would say 9. 9 is my personal favorite. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. I've replayed it at least 3 or 4 times. It's near and dear, and it's medieval. Basically, Final Fantasy 9 was like a celebration of everything that came before that, and it's really fun, and the characters are great, and it's better storytelling.
My favorite
than
Final
most.
Fantasy is 13.
That's okay. That's fine. Listen, I don't think 13's a bad game. I think they just fucked it up with the marketing and stuff like that.
Like,
10 is a really good like jumping on point as well. It's pretty linear. It's kind of like that's why when people complain like Final Fantasy 13 is a hallway simulator, so was 10. It was very fucking linear.
This book came out after the remake.
Oh, Rolling Roaring. Oh shit. Oh. All right, never mind. I stand corrected. I guess they just, I don't know if Square still realizes that people really like Final Fantasy 14.
What do you mean they don't?
If you're,
they do love. They know people love Final Fantasy 14. Why do you think they gave the studio that made that game this game?
I don't know before that book though, because I think they just came out with the expansion and like, I hope this is good.
Well, I mean, look, there's like,
it's like, yeah,
3 pages long.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like,
if you're into MMOs, then do 14. Like, duh.
14, not just as a Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah.
But as an MMO fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Final Fantasy 14 is literally peak MMO.
Apparently, from what I've heard. I'm not into MMOs, so...
Yeah, it's like, people love it.
Yeah.
I played maybe like 15 hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah. I would say 9, though, you should get some more Final Fantasy under your belt, because, like, 9 is, like, a celebration of everything. But, like, if you want to start with 9 and it's interesting to you, go for it. 10 is also a great jumping off point. 7 and 10 are, like, the best jumping off points for very beginners, because you have the Final Fantasy fields and the references and stuff like that from across the other games, while also being very accessible to newcomers. You know, those early NES games can get real fucking hard, and you have to grind a lot. Whereas like 7, you have to grind, but like 10, you won't have to grind a lot at all. If you're not grinding, is basically like you take some time out of the mainline game and you go attack some enemies for like an hour or 2 to level yourself up. That's what I mean by grinding. 11 is an MMO, but I don't know if it's still live. I think it's canceled, so I don't think you can play it. Maybe you could find a server that's still active. Go for it. I don't really have much passion about it. 12, I don't like the combat, but I like the world and story. I haven't played it all the way through, but I know what happens. But if you look at the gameplay, it's kind of an MMO type combat, which is why I'm reluctant to play it. I've tried at least 2 times. I'll try again eventually, and I'll probably love it. But If you're into, look up the gameplay, and if it's something that you're into, go for it. 13 is the Black Sheep, so I wouldn't start with that one. But if it looks aesthetically pleasing to you, that's good. You can go for that. Just know it's a lot of characters and a lot of phrases that you're not going to understand at first. You're probably not going to understand the story at first. Maybe 14 MMO. 15 is also good. Jumping off point, you just have to read all the media around it to understand the fucking story. But if an open world Final Fantasy is what you want, you'll get that. It's the most open world Final Fantasy there is. So if that's your juice and jam, go for that. Obviously, 16 is also a great jumping off point. It's one of the less Final Fantasy feeling Final Fantasies. But I don't know, that might change throughout time. You know, I'm still playing the game. It's starting to feel more and more like Final Fantasy, but it's a slow build. It's a slow burn. You'll be like, why is it so limited? But once you get to the mid game, that's when the actual game starts. And yeah, I'm trying to think of spin-offs. World of Final Fantasy is good if you like the chibi style stuff, and it's like a celebration for everything that came before. That's traditional turn-based if you want to go that route. There's I forget what they're called, the Niva something games. But like basically it's like
which games?
They're like, it's like a crossover of all the Final Fantasy characters, and they all meet. It's like the Smash Brothers of Final Fantasy, basically.
Wow.
But like it's like a 3D, like you know the Gundam games?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of styled like that. It's like an arcade shoot 'em up type of deal.
You know what have made these covers even better?
What's that?
If instead of these character portraits, they actually did like the logos for each of the games.
I don't know. I think that comes off as very cheap. Like, here are the games you're talking about. The logos are a very important part of the Final Fantasy franchise. Like, the logos are literally kind of allude to the story that's going to happen. But, like, that would be very busy on these, I think. Like, Final Fantasy. And, like, just all the logos looking samey. Whereas, I like... Final Fantasy wants to look clean, and I think this is the cleanest they can make it. Having all those logos on there, I don't think that would look so clean. Like, even the last one that you were looking at, that's kind of busy, and it's not really even. Like, I don't know if I would make that decision, but...
What do you think is the best Final Fantasy logo?
Ooh, that's a good one. Final Fantasy 9, even though it's my favorite, like, has the laziest logo, where it's just like a crystal. It plays an important part of the plot, but it's literally just a crystal. 7 is alright. It's just a planet kind of thing. I would say 6. 6 is awesome because it has
show it on screen.
Terra on the names escape me right now what they call those mechs, but here, why don't we look up? There's probably an image where it shows all of them. I guess I'm up close. Fancy. No. Of course. This new logo is really good. And a lot of the character designs are done by the same dude. I forget his name. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Open tab.
I want y'all to remember that JJ works as a technician.
I do.
Open image in a new tab.
Where's that? I don't see it. Right there. It says it right there. Wow. Zoom in. Cool. Alright, so it's a little blurry, but we're gonna deal with it.
What you talk about? A better one.
I think 10 is one of the better ones. It's pretty simple, just 2 opposing characters, but it's pretty important to the main plot. 6 is just so iconic. Like, once you see that, you're like, oh, that's Final Fantasy 6. Same thing with 7. It's very simplistic. I don't like the later ones, like 13, 14, and 15. They're just very busy. I feel like a Final Fantasy logo should be expressing a complicated thing of the story, but making it look clean and simplistic. Whereas like these like last 3 down here, like what? Oh, it's just pretty jumbled up. But I like 6, 7, and 10. Those are like the best for me. If I had to rank them, I would go 7, 10, and then 6.
Nice. I liked 15 because it's the one I played first.
Well,
I'm just
you can
for it.
You can like just based off of these logos. It doesn't have to be the actual contents of the game.
I like 15 out of all of these. Even
14 is the worst. That's too busy.
Well, it's like it's supposed to be like, hey, look, these are all the characters you can be. Look at your massive part.
5 is probably one of the ways. Wagon.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's very boring.
Like the first 5 look really boring.
And like 12 is cool, but it's just like man with 2 swords. It's like okay.
I like 13's. 13's is pretty cool.
13's is cool, but I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
I don't either.
Well, there we go.
Like with 15, even with like without the context, you could see like somebody sleeping. And like the game ends with the two main, like the main love interest and the main character sleeping.
Do they
the
kiss?
throne. They never kiss. They both die on the throne.
Oh my god.
And they go to sleep because the main character can finally rest.
I didn't actually know he died at the end. I never finished 15, nor did I.
Yeah, he dies because he.
Spoilers!
So what happens is like you collect all the weapons in the world.
Yeah.
If you collect all the like your family weapons, you have to stab yourself with all of them. Because you know how he can like summon weapons. Like that's his ability.
Well, they fight the fire summon.
They fire all the summons.
No. The fire summon.
I know.
Like the naked dude. Well, he's not naked. He's got some clothes.
They fight. They fight Clive's summon.
Yeah.
Something. But he fights all of them. He also fights Ultima. Like right after another. Like
I have a feeling
right after
Ultima is going to be
the big baddie.
The big baddie in this new one.
But you fight.
I love 10. 10 just looks so pretty. I love that one.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah,
I like the color palette too.
Yeah, the color palette is very because it like flows into one. I'd love 9, but God, it's just a fucking crystal.
It's just a crystal.
Yeah.
Let me see here. We can pull up.
Yeah, this shit is. I like that one a lot. It's got the 10.
I find it funny because like it does give off the 10 feeling.
Yeah.
And it's way more like distinct. Like you can clearly see this is the Phoenix, and this is what's his name?
Something with that I can never fucking pronounce it.
Yeah.
If something. It's not like
I wrote.
Yeah, I wrote.
But I also like that like the artist is
Yeah, he does all of them.
The same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy. And he does some of the character designs now, but like in the early games, like the you know the art you were looking at on the earlier games, he did like most of the character. Stuff
you
like
could.
that.
I mean, you could tell just based off of the way
he's a very good artist. He does the covers for Vampire Hunter D, all those covers. And it's very distinct and unique art style. He did one of Harley Quinn that didn't make her look like a insane whore.
Jesus, a whore.
I'm just
You're a fucking whore, dude.
I'm a little slut for Final Fantasy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you are. You really are.
Well, I haven't played all the games. I've played most.
So, yeah, guys, that's our Final Fantasy review. We've talked about it for an hour.
I can now wait 2 more years until we talk about this franchise again, because Peter only allows me to do it once, and then he says, "Shut the fuck up, Jack. Stop." Not
true, because we both know once Final Fantasy Rebirth comes out, we'll be talking.
Oh, we're gonna have some opinions. We're gonna get loud,
dude. I hope to God you like the game.
I'm not.
Only reason I hope you like it is because I know you're gonna hate yourself for liking it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, "Fuck, I actually enjoy it." You know what? I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna be like, if JJ thinks that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's combat is on Final Fantasy like, I'm gonna show him a clip of him saying the combat.
I mean, it's still not.
It's closer.
It is
like
closer to the current one.
Closer.
And I understand why, we'll just touch on this real quick. I understand why Final Fantasy is going the route now, because turn-based, it's hard to get people engaged into it. People just want to hit a button.
I kind of disagree with that, because if that's the case, Persona would not be so popular.
Okay, name another one.
Like naming Pokemon.
That's Pokemon. That doesn't count.
That's a turn-based game.
No, but it's attached to one of the 7th most popular thing. Another JRPG that is popular
right now. The
turn-based
Traveler games?
They're popular, but they're not like...
Those are popular. What do you mean
they're not?
They made a.
They're not on the level of like a Final Fantasy or anything else.
You just said don't do that.
Right. Okay. No. But
you just said
this is what I'm saying.
Pokemon. No. That's bullshit. That game is.
This is what I'm saying.
The most popular franchise
for general audiences. They'll make an exception for Pokemon because for some reason they see that as different. But like your Call of Duty fans aren't gonna go to Octopath Traveler, but they might go to this new Final Fantasy game because it kind of looks similar to God of War. So that's how they draw them in.
I don't agree.
I think your general gamer, especially younger gamers, don't like turn-based. I guarantee it.
I don't think young.
I think it definitely played a part
at all
into this because why else would they change it?
I don't think
it's such a drastic change
because that's what they think the fans want, and the reality is, yes, sure, you're right. 100% people are more inclined to be playing action RPG.
Non-turn-based, yeah.
But
that's why Kingdom Hearts is so fucking popular.
I'm telling you that people who play Call of Duty in general are not playing Final Fantasy at all.
But
even
they might.
16.
They might if they see this.
I can guarantee.
Maybe they play Call of Duty and the new God of War.
I feel like there's a possibility that if I were to get 10 people who are playing Final Fantasy 14 right now,
well, 14 is different because that's an MMO.
If I asked like 9 out of 10 of them if they've played Final Fantasy before they played this,
like, they would say absolutely not.
What was the game they played before this that got them into Final Fantasy? They would have probably said World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Do you know
not
why
even
they
a
say
Final
that?
Fantasy game. Yeah.
Because they're playing their genre.
Yeah.
Square Enix thinks that people that they're going to get more audience, a larger audience to play Final Fantasy 16 because it's an action RPG.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Well, it is selling a lot.
It's selling a lot.
Yeah.
But so did Final Fantasy 15. That game did really well.
Yeah, but that's also not turn-based.
It's pseudo turn-based.
But it's not turn-based.
Yeah.
You're never ever gonna get again a group of party members stand that the enemy stands and then you select an attack, you select it. It's never gonna happen again.
RPG's coming out. You'll see what happens.
For Final Fantasy. That's what I'm saying. For Final Fantasy, it'll never happen again. This is the way they're going.
I mean, it is. I'm not disagreeing with you. I know that we talked about this. We talked about Final Fantasy 7.
I'm so hyped for that Mario RPG.
When you were like,
holy shit!
When you were like, I want them to stay turn-based, and I was like, JJ, that's not where they're going. I'm glad you finally recognized that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the strategy,
but that's also
isn't going to work.
But that's also why I'm so disconnected to 15 too. I'm like, this doesn't feel Final Fantasy. Even 7, it's like, I'm just playing a coded Final Fantasy. It's not a traditional, the only thing I recognize from Final Fantasy is because it's a remake of Final Fantasy 7. If it wasn't that, say it was a completely different game, I would be like, this is a completely different game. Wait, the argument was stupid. I just called myself on that one. Yeah. But, the feeling of traditional Final Fantasy is slowly going away. And I've come to terms with it. That's fine now because this new era, I'm enjoying this new one. As long as the story is good, that's fine. 15 didn't have a great story.
Because it wasn't finished.
Very much wasn't.
They rushed it. That game was in production hell for 10 years.
Yeah. It originally was a 13 versus game.
Yeah, I know.
I remember seeing that trailer where Noctis was going through a bunch of buildings and I'm like, holy goddamn shit.
And then they were like,
no.
This isn't versus. This is 15.
And then everyone's like, oh shit, awesome.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, you know that whole demo that we showed where you're like flying through buildings and being God? Yeah? No.
It's not the game.
You're like, why? And they're like, we just...
Because we literally changed our concept for this game 15 times.
Yeah.
Why do you think we named it Final
Fantasy 15? It wasn't numerical. It's because we changed this shit
15 times.
But all these are relevant because Chocobo Racing is the best Final Fantasy game.
You're right. Yeah. So, guys, thank you all for watching today's stream. I will try to get a gaming news video out for tomorrow. I know JJ didn't put anything out this week because he hates creativity. And
no, it's because
this channel.
It's because 4th of July and I had a lot of shit.
Wow.
I had to celebrate my country because fuck the British.
Exactly. What I celebrated on for 4th of July was watching Bridgerton. So I only watched British television.
Well, that's okay because you're an American watching British television. Yeah. You're like, doesn't matter. We still beat your ass.
So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. This Friday, I'll have the new gaming dip news show up. And then JJ will maybe have a video up next week.
I will. Yeah. Next week for sure.
I will try to have videos up within the next couple weeks because I'll be going away.
Yeah. I'm also working on a special project. So, yeah.
For your personal?
No, for
We're doing it on Saturday. Yeah. So yeah, check everything out then. And we'll see you guys next week, same time on Thursday. I don't fucking know what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, I'll tell you after.
So, yeah. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next stream.
I love you.
They don't love you.